So, Dan, thanks for celebrating 65 years of REITs with NAREIT.
Thanks for having me, Sarah. Appreciate it.
So, Don, when we celebrated the 50th anniversary of REITs, you noted that the legitimacy and respectability of REITs had been a unifying force for commercial real estate. 15 years on, would you say the same thing?
Boy, first of all, just reflecting on 15 years since the last time, think about that. The difference in everything that has changed, real estate and everything else between 2010, I guess that was, and today in 2025. And there are pillars of stability in there that are really important. REITs are certainly a unifying force and can continue to be as they were. The professionalism in this business is pretty universally respected. And that's obviously not something that was the case before REITs. The notion of compiling great portfolios of various different kinds of real estate, and there have been more and more, as you know, over that period of time and longer, really has given a level of credibility to real estate investing that I think is as important today as it's ever been.
Anything else about REITs at 65 that you'd like to highlight?
Yeah, there are changes. One of the things I think we've talked about over the years regularly is the need to continue to expand the investor base and find those pockets of capital that align well. We've been somewhat successful in that way, but not completely. There's a long way to go. There are a lot of investors in real estate today, in the stock today, not necessarily in real estate, that are more shorter term stock investors. And obviously, the shares of a REIT are correlated to the underlying real estate value, but not completely. And I think less so than has been in the past. And so I think one of the things that we need to continue to do is search out and find globally the sources of capital that really align best with the longer term nature of real estate investing. It's a challenge for us.
And do you think that the whole concept of investing in REITs is really well understood at this point, or would you say more education is needed?
More education is needed. And again, kind of going back to the last 15 years, particularly the last 5 of which, since COVID, this period of time, it's been one of the most artificial periods of operations and capital and socialization and everything else in our history. And so I think for everybody that has learned real estate, if you will, over that period of time, they really haven't learned in in a cycle tested way. They've kind of learned and come up during a period that was more artificial. Now that's over, and we're in much more of a normalized, if you will, and cyclical, because that's what real estate is, business. So the continued learning and indoctrination, if you will, of the real estate principles to be combined with the stock, I think is one of the things that we really have to do a better job of trying to accomplish over the next 5 years.
Right. And a key goal for REITs, including Federal Realty, is to increase long-term community value. How do you assess the performance of the REIT industry by that metric?
Really well, and I'm glad you brought that up, because the bottom line is when you're in a community and you own commercial properties, whatever the type of property is, you owe a little bit back to that community. And when you think about REITs are generally well-capitalized companies. And so they have the capital to be able to improve the properties and to be able to consider the communities that they're doing business in. And as a result, I think you get a better product. A better product means higher sales taxes. More sales taxes mean more jobs. More jobs mean a better lifestyle for the community in which we're in. So, you've seen it in a number of industries where it's just about sucking the cash flow out of a failing asset for years and years, and that does nothing for the community. The continued investment, continued improvement, if you will, of the real estate is just a critical part of what we do, and I think the public REIT industry particularly does a spectacular job at that.
Great. And Don, where would you say the biggest opportunities and challenges for the industry lie ahead?
Sarah, I think that's the same question. I think the challenge and the opportunity lies in finding globally those pockets of capital that best align with the underlying business plan of these REITs. These REITs are generally they hold by by definition they hold their real estate for longer periods of time. We need to find the capital. Retail shareholders is a good bucket for example of places that align best with those business plans.
Great. Don, anything else you'd like to share as we mark this milestone?
No, I'm looking forward to the, I guess it would be the 80th year in 15 years from now of REITs that we can see how we did over that period of time.
And do you see more sectors coming into the industry?
Real estate is a broad term. And yeah, I always think there are new ways to capitalize on what that means. I don't think we should be afraid of that. I think we should embrace that and build the boat as big as we can.